Hello, I'm Lizzie.
And I'm Izzy, and we need help.
Each week we stumble through a new book, method, or concept that brings us one step closer to being our best self.
Yes, we make fun of ourselves.
And others.
But mostly just ourselves. So here's to not taking self-help quite so seriously.
Welcome everybody to We Need Help. I'm Lizzie.
And I'm Izzy, and this week we are doing the book Gratitude by Oliver Sacks, and I am so grateful that we're doing this book.
Gratitude. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's a wonderful book.
We did this book because it was basically short. It was like Thanksgiving weekend, and we had all this stuff going on, and we're like, all right, Thanksgiving, gratitude, grateful. Okay, and I Googled, and then I discovered that it's Oliver Sacks is somebody I've always wanted to read, and it's his essay. It's 4 essays together in a book from the time of his 80th birthday to just before his death. So he just wrote a collection of 4 essays, and this is the book, and it was wonderful. It is wonderful.
Some of the best things come from being lazy.
Yeah, I agree.
I've really gotten myself into some amazing stuff, trying to get out of something else.
Yeah, exactly. So Oliver Sacks, if you're all not familiar with him, he is a legendary neurologist and storyteller. And he was portrayed by Robin Williams in that film Awakenings, where Robert De Niro was a patient who was comatose, and Oliver Sacks
if you haven't seen it, it's the most amazing book ever.
Yeah.
It shaped me as a human.
Did it? I didn't know it was that important to you.
Big time. Yeah. It was well, and it might have just been that it was one of the only VCR tapes that we had.
Oh, okay.
Back then, you didn't have the option to shape yourself.
What was the first VCR tape do you remember the first one ever?
We had some Disney movies, but my favorite VCR tape I ever had was Pretty Woman.
Okay.
I mean, I've said it many times. I could not wait to grow up and be a prostitute.
And you achieved your goal. Well done.
I was going to be riding in a Lotus. It was going to corner like it was on rails.
You weren't going to kiss on the mouth.
Yeah. Oh, I was never going to kiss on the mouth. Yeah. I wouldn't even kiss my posters on the mouth.
What are you doing to that poster?
Sorry, Johnny. Or no, it was oh God, Bon Jovi. Sorry, Bon Jovi.
Yeah, sorry, George Michael.
Kiss you on the mouth. Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, Olive Duran.
Duran. Oh, you had a Duran poster?
I don't think I did. I think that was I was really young, but that was the first time I was like, okay, I can get on board with looking at males.
Yeah. My favorite Duran quote was from Saturday Night Live, do you remember Linda Richmond coffee talk?
Yeah.
Where she would get verklempt, and then she would have she would have to take a break, and she's like, I'm getting verklempt, I need to take a break. And then she said, Duran was neither a Duran nor a Duran. Discuss.
I don't remember. I'm going to have to look it up. I can't wait to see it.
We're going to afterbirth that one.
We're afterbirthing.
Okay.
I don't know what we're going to afterbirth. It's just my opinion of the scene.
Well, right. You're going to watch it and give your opinion of the scene.
Which I know means so much to everybody.
Everybody's going to watch it. Everybody that's listening.
Everyone. Yes.
So, Dr. Sacks, he was called by the Independent newspaper the presiding genius of neurological drama, which I feel like that's me.
I was going to say, don't worry, his shoes are filled.
Yeah. So he wrote this book, which I haven't read, but I want to, The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat. I'm like, that sounds like an awesome book.
I feel like he maybe had a little too much red wine and decided to name the book. Yeah. I'm going to name it The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat.
Yeah, I love it. I love
I love it.
it.
And then he had a friend that like agreed with everything.
Yeah, name it that.
Yeah, it's great. Hats are great. Wives are great. Why not?
So he was a skilled pianist. So he often wrote about the relationship between music and the mind, and then he wrote a whole book about it called Musicophilia.
It
Um,
sounds a lot like pedophilia.
has nothing to do
All the
with
philias do.
yeah, all the philias do it. Pedophilia
Yeah.
ruined it for all the philias.
Oh, all the philias have just been
Screw you,
tainted.
pedophilia. You
Just one more reason why I don't like pedophilia.
yeah, you've ruined it for all the philias.
Like I needed one more.
Yeah. So he was celibate for 35 years and he found love late in life. He is survived by his partner, the writer Bill Hayes. Let's see. He's yeah, he has face blindness, which is meaning he doesn't kind of see faces. Like he'll forget a face immediately and he doesn't remember faces. Um,
Okay.
so I think that's really interesting. It's really difficult for him to recognize people not only on the street but also movies and TV.
I would
Um,
like to put out there I want to take on I think I have this. So next time I don't remember anybody's name or their face,
yeah.
I have face blindness.
Okay, well, let's afterbirth a little bit more on face blindness because it sounds
Yeah.
interesting. And then we're going to afterbirth this next part because I thought it was super interesting that Bjork was one of his best friends. And
Wow.
his work inspired her album Biophilia, which I had no idea.
That one doesn't make me think of pedophilia as
Biophilia?
much.
Yeah, not as much. So he wrote about people with amnesia, face blindness, Tourette syndrome, and a host of other neurological conditions. And he approached these subjects with empathy and he saw their humanity first, not their disease, which I
I
love
like
that.
that.
Yeah. He had a passion for human experience, but he spent much of his life uncomfortable in his own skin, which I can totally relate to. Um, and he had a struggle with his sexuality because he was a homosexual, as well as he had a amphetamine addiction. So yeah,
I find this guy so interesting.
yeah,
Number one, it does help that I like picture him as Robin Williams,
yeah,
whom I loved.
yeah,
But yeah, he's just a very interesting human being.
yeah. I mean, he's best friends with Bjork. He writes
Uh,
books. He's a neurologist. It's just
yeah,
I'm like sad I didn't know about him before he passed. It like makes me sad. Like I would have like written him a letter or something. So yeah.
I don't feel any kind of sadness that I don't feel like I could have given anything to him.
Right.
So like our relationship doesn't matter. I'm already insecure in our relationship. I'm like, he's too good for me.
But yeah, he wrote this book, Gratitude. Right, he was diagnosed with cancer. It was metastatic ocular melanoma. That's what it was called. And yeah, he passed. But he wrote these 4 essays right before he passed, and titled the collection of essays "Gratitude," which I love.
I love it. I
Yeah,
love it. And we thought it was very fitting for the week of Thanksgiving too.
yeah,
That's why we did it,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So, what are you grateful for? What are some of your? Do you
I'm
write a gratitude
grateful.
list?
Yeah, sometimes when I'm getting really low, I do.
Yeah.
And then we practice gratitude in our house. I know I've talked about it a million times. We talk continuously about what we're grateful for.
Hmm.
Uh, but mostly I'm grateful for food. I have this connection to food in all ways. Like I love my food so much. I'm grateful for I think that I mean, I'm obviously grateful for Scarlett and Jason and my family and friends and stuff like that because I do think and I do believe like there's life after death, but I think we're set to connect here.
Hmm.
I think that's why we're here,
Yeah.
you know? So I'm really grateful for like some of the relationships and connections that I have over the years. Like, it's just been crazy. We just met with our friends Greg and Ricardo, and they came down to the islands and saw us, and like we've been friends with them for 15 years now. And do you know, like, we got together with them and it felt like not a day had passed.
Yeah, I love that. I love
And
that.
it was just such a kind and loving, like, connection. Like, they're
Mhm.
just these people that friendship is such a cool relationship because you're not in it for any reason if you're
Yeah.
really in a friendship. It's like, so I'm very grateful for those relationships, and just, Jason has been a huge, blessing in my life. I kind of lucked out on that one because I would like, he's not my type. I would have like normally not gone for a guy like that. Like,
What was your normal type?
I mean, I kind of liked assholes for a long time.
Mhm.
I just found them interesting. Not that I don't find Jason interesting. It's just he's just interesting on a more secure level. So I'm really grateful for him, and I'm grateful I decided to take a chance and have a baby with him
Yeah.
because it's been really interesting
Yeah.
to like watch him be the kind of father he is, especially based on the kind of father I had, which was completely different.
Yeah.
What are you most grateful for?
I've learned to practice gratitude. So even being grateful for the failures, like I try to be grateful for
Oh,
everything.
me too.
Naturally, I'm grateful like that I don't have to work 9 to 5. Naturally, I'm grateful that I live in a nice house and I have food, and I like those things just kind of come, easily. Like the feeling of
Yeah.
gratitude I don't have to work at. But sometimes when something bad happens, I have to find the thing I'm grateful for in the bad thing that happens. And usually it's some type of learning experience.
Yeah.
So, and
Oh,
then,
I
yeah,
agree.
yeah, and becoming grateful for that. So that is a practice. So I think, gratitude sometimes can come just like this, but sometimes I have to work at it.
I have had the best experiences with cunts coming into my life. Honestly, like looking back, like thinking of like this bitch, but what it has led me to
Yeah,
or what it has shown me in another, like it really does, like, or if I've failed or if I fucked up or I got a divorce, like it is like the best thing eventually.
right.
Just click out one more time and you can find the gratitude.
Yeah. And you
I'm
do
always
have to
talking about
work on
clicking
it.
out.
You do have to work on. You have to kind of dig around, and you have to kind of what is it? Reframe. I'm
Yeah.
constantly reframing, So
Yeah. I really am too. It's exhausting.
there's this fantastic commercial. It's a diaper commercial for babies, but it's fantastic. It's this baby and he like goes into an office and his boss is like, "You're fired." His boss is also a baby, and his like he just points to the door and the baby's just like, "Okay." And he like goes out the door and he's all happy and he's carrying his box of stuff, and the box like falls and breaks and he's like, "All right, I don't have to carry a box anymore." And then he like is going home and he's going to open the door and his little keys, and then the keys fall into the grate and he's like, "Guess I'll be outside." And he's
Yeah.
happy no matter what happens. And I'm like, wow, well that's the way to look
That's
at
the
it.
goal,
Yeah, that's the
is to
goal.
become a toddler again.
Exactly. Like, oh well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, it's
I love it.
fantastic. So let's talk about these 4 essays. And we can start with Mercury because that was the first one. He named it after the element Mercury. And this was all about turning 80 and getting old and aging. Yeah. And his
I'm bummed that we have to age.
yeah.
Yeah, it bothers me. I'm constantly looking for a vampire for this reason. But like I don't want to do it. I
Yeah.
don't want to do it. And it's not that it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to be wise. I want to be the wise old woman that sits
Mhm.
there and is calm and comfortable with herself. But letting go of the physical side of being capable of doing anything and jumping and running and doing like that, that seems like a bummer.
Yeah.
How do you feel
The
about that?
physical decay is all I'm worried about, and the mental
Yep.
decay. But I have a feeling
Yeah.
I'm going to be pretty sharp. Everyone in my
Yeah.
family has remained sharp until the end. So nobody's lost their mind. So I
Yeah.
feel pretty confident in that. Um, but I'm afraid of the just I see my father-in-law, he's having a hard time walking. That would be hard.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of shit go down and I'm like, okay, I don't want to like I want to remain in shape.
Yeah.
Like and I mean even the most in shape people, they can't outrun aging.
Yeah.
They can't outrun it.
Well,
I
there's
mean,
the new thing now, with rich guys like Jeff Bezos. What is that? The new trend for what is it when you extend your life? There's a word for it, and it's trendy now. I'm gonna have to
all right,
afterbirth
I'm gonna
it.
do. I will afterbirth that, and we'll both be doing it by next week.
Yeah. Whatever it is.
Whatever it is. Remember,
Longevity. It's like longevity, whatever
yeah,
practices. But
I
anyway.
like. I think I do that. I think I do that.
Yeah.
I'm like every year since I turned 30, I've given up something, whether it
Okay.
be sugar or freaking, you know, it's always something. Like
Well,
I'm
here's what's
constantly having
interesting
to
about
give
the
up stuff.
sugar. I get the sugar now, but so I had a friend, he had a grandmother who, they're like, don't give her any sugar, it's going to be bad for her. And she was just like, she loved sugar. She loved cakes and pies her whole life.
Yeah.
And it was like the end of her life, and she was so weak. She would just like sit in front of the TV. She could barely move. And the doctor's like, she's, slow decline, nothing we can do. And her son was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to give her cake. So he just like bought her cakes every day and she perked right up. She started like she had something to live for,
Yeah.
the
Well,
cake,
that's why like when I've never been a drug doer, but I plan on when I'm like 80, 85, depending on I'm just going to start doing some drugs. Like
like
I mean
Little Miss
fuck
Sunshine.
it. Yes. Just fuck it. Like at some point like you got to live your life. It's
Yeah.
like I don't want to I mean like I said since I've been 30 I've given up something every year to look better or feel better. It's
Yeah.
mainly to look better.
Yeah. Your vanity
I mean
has
my vanity
has
has saved
extended your
me so many times.
lifespan.
I bet my vanity had probably saved my life by now
Yeah.
many times.
Yeah. Well, that's like in recovery, we sometimes say like, the universe sometimes uses our defects to help us. So being
Oh,
great, because some
I
people beat themselves up, they're martyrs, it's like embrace your defect because it could be saving your life,
it is saving my life. It
Yeah.
has many times. But, it's ooh, I don't want to like I don't want to be like walking with a walker or lose my sight or anything weird like that. You know what I mean? Like it's just like I want to be able to I want to like be dancing until the day I die. Like I
Yeah.
just want to. But I think about that all the time. Like I die on purpose all the time. I think about what people are going to
What
say
is
about
that?
me when I
Oh, you mean you go through it in your head?
all the time,
Okay.
constantly.
Okay. So
It's
tell
it's
us more. I'm interested in this. Like what goes through your head?
um
What happens?
I think that I mean the cut of my jib is very and I've been a cunt, don't get me wrong. Like I've done a million things wrong, but like I really do try to operate on good,
Yeah.
and I just like if like what I like when I'm dying, I'm gonna think about every time I like wrong somebody, you know?
Mm.
And I also think about what people might say about me at my funeral. like
Do you remember the comment? Okay, so I went to
oh,
Chicago. I had been in Poland for about 10 years, and I decided to go to Chicago and have a party. And you came to the bar, and it was like random people. Like, it was people from my childhood, it was like some family members, it was people from my high school, some people from my past jobs. Because I was like, I'm in Chicago, come to this bar.
yeah.
And everybody came, and I'm like, and I said that out loud. I said, this is so weird. These are all these random people. And you said, this is exactly what your funeral's gonna look like.
Yeah,
And
it was on my mind back then.
I was so happy. I was like, this is exactly who I would want
Wow.
at my funeral, you know?
I'm gonna have tapas at my funeral. This is
Oh my God.
amazing.
Tequila shots? I love
Sangria? Yes.
it. So yeah, this chapter, it was kind of all about coming to terms with that. Like, I'm
Mhm.
80, death is imminent. And he said one quote that I could just really think that I could relate to, because if I was at 80, I think I would think the same thing. He said, I feel I should be trying to complete my life, whatever completing a life means. And that's
Yeah.
it. Like, you're at the end. Like, now it's time to close out, cut all those loose strings and,
Yeah.
close it all out in a nice, neat fashion, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't I this is just a hunch. I don't think it ends.
Yeah.
And I do have proof that there's life after death. I could explain that. My brother came to me through a medium
Hmm.
and proved to me that there's life after death. But like I don't think time is actually like real. And I'm playing around with the idea that this is all a video game. I know this sounds weird, but there are some fucking mindless, soulless motherfuckers out there that are just walking around. I'm telling you, there's nothing behind their eyes, you guys. Like, seriously. I'm like messing around. I think you might be able to just like hit restart on your Nintendo and do it again.
Oh, Nintendo.
I love
I
Nintendo.
love
It's a
Nintendo.
cereal. Nintendo.
Um, so what else did I love about this chapter? Oh, he was talking about his dad. So he said, my father, who lived to be 94, often said that the 80s had been one of the most enjoyable decades of his life. He felt, as I begin to feel, not a shrinking, but an enlargement of mental life and perspective. That's interesting.
I think it was the Coke.
It's the methamphetamine.
Yeah, for
He never
sure.
gave it up.
Yeah.
He
I
can.
in this part you said, "Do you hate ungrateful people?" It was one of your questions that you had
Oh,
written
yeah,
down.
yeah, yeah.
I want to know that from you first.
Okay, I don't hate anyone really,
The haters.
but I get super annoyed with ungrateful people because I'm a coach and I work with a lot of people, so I get a lot of self pity calls, and I get so many self pity calls, and people don't see the good that they have in their lives, and that just annoys me that they're not willing to work on it. They'd rather
Right.
sit in the bitter morass of self pity and soak. And I'm just like, get up, write down what you're, grateful for. And I had a coachee yesterday call me and she was crying for like an hour. And finally, I'm just like, okay, let's sit down and write down what you're grateful for. And she goes, ugh, it's always the same thing: healthy kids, food, roof over my head. And I was just like, I gotta go. Like, so I
Oh,
just
it's
get
the worst.
really annoyed. Really annoyed that people choose not to work on their gratitude when there's so
Well,
much good happening.
I have two ways of looking at this.
Yeah.
I look at it is because like I've worn glasses my entire life. I wear contacts. I almost see it as a nearsightedness.
Hmm.
They can't see what they've got, and therefore I kind of feel sorry for them. And I also feel scared for them because I know the universe is going to fucking slam them down hard. Like, it's like, "Oh, shit. Here we go. God, I love you. I wish you weren't, like, gonna deal this." And you can't, unfortunately, with nearsightedness, you can, like, prescribe glasses,
Yeah.
but, like, it's really hard to put somebody from a scarce mindset into an abundant mindset.
Yeah.
Like,
It really
it's
is.
really difficult, and it takes, like, a willingness that is like no other, and sometimes it takes taking away.
Mhm.
And the universe does that. Like if somebody's not appreciating you, don't sell yourself.
Yeah.
Don't say, "Hey, wait, but I'm so good. Look at me. I've done all of this." What you do is say, "I I can't I can't give you what you don't appreciate anymore. I have to take myself away."
Mhm.
And the universe will do that with all abundance for people.
Yeah.
And what abundance they do give, it's going to be so tainted and raunchy and gross. So I feel somewhat sorry for them.
I do too. I have a friend who, no matter what progress she makes, she's always gonna find the new bottom, you know? And it's like, she'll be here, she'll be at the bottom, and then she'll get up, and
Uh-huh.
then suddenly she'll be like, she'll make that the bottom again. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, but wait, 2 years ago you were in this horrible situation. You are so much better. Yeah, but, and there's the yeah, but.
It's never enough.
It's never enough. And it's, some people are like the black hole of, it's just a
Well,
black
and
hole of love, black hole of, yeah,
some people are takers.
yeah, yeah,
And takers are always going to be feeling scarce.
yeah,
They're always going to be looking for more. They're always going to be in a the uncomfort zone.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
just because if you don't stop and be like, okay, I love this, I love that, I love this, I love you, I love me, I'm here, I'm grateful, thank you. Then where are you?
yeah,
You're lost.
yeah. And
You
I
have
think,
no
yeah,
you have no foundation.
yeah,
It's it's sad. It's like the most sad thing, and it's the most frustrating. It's frustrating because it's so heartbreaking.
at the same time, the world can't all be, made up of people that are super grateful all the time. It'd be super
Amazing.
annoying.
I know. It would. And honestly, like sometimes it's a little annoying when people are like, "I'm so grateful for this and that and this." And you're like, okay. Like, I don't know if it's because we're like from Chicago or something, but like, okay, fuck you.
Get out of my face.
Yeah, I don't like when people are too grateful either. So there we go.
Okay. So Mercury, that was his essay on turning 80 and getting into the 80s. And then his second essay is called My Own Life, where he discovers he has cancer and he kind of comes face to face with dying. And then what I loved about this chapter is he gets to decide what to do with his life, moving forward now. Like how he wants to die, how he wants to go out. What does he want to do with the rest of his days? That is the question that he's asking himself. Um, and so
And
that was a
that's the
cool,
question
yeah,
we should all that should inspire us all and did for me to decide that today. I mean, there's no guarantees. Like
yeah,
I that it sucks, but it's also a gift. Like you don't have time,
yeah. You think you do.
but you don't. Like
Yeah,
we're like all of our end of days is different. You know, it's like
well, you've seen
it's
Sopranos, the ending.
oh yeah, hello.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
It's
going to
all
spoil it
done.
for anybody who hasn't seen it, but the ending was like, oh, oh, oh,
Yeah,
you know. So
it's
that's
the end of
it.
days. Yeah, but we don't know what it is. We like this is a question. We're all dying.
Yeah.
Like, I say it all the time. I'm like, well, I'm dying. I want to live to 400, but like, I don't get to do that. And I bet 400 wouldn't be enough for me.
Yeah. And I think that's what this chapter gave to me. Like I'll read my favorite quote out of it. It is up to me now to choose how to live out the months that remain to me. I have to live in the richest, deepest, most productive way I can. And that's forever, not just for somebody who knows he's going to die in a couple months, but for me,
Yeah.
it is up to me now to choose how to live out the years or months or who knows, hours that remain to me. I don't know, you know.
I sometimes I like it a wave of fear goes over me like almost every time I leave somebody I love,
Mm,
just in case like that's my last moment that I get to see them.
yeah.
Like either I die or they die. Like I don't even like get detailed with it, but I'm like, okay, like what if this is the last time I see them?
Yeah.
And that's why I don't like to like make meatballs about a lot of things that I have with people, because there are like a lot of opinions that I have with people, but it's like, okay, but if they die, I don't want them to think that I don't love them, or if I die, and of course I really don't want them thinking that.
So let's do a broad stroke. I love you.
I love every one of you so much.
Broad stroke.
Yeah,
We love the broad stroke.
we live for the broad stroke.
Should we take a banter break?
Banter break, banter break, dance
Banter
to the music.
break.
All right, we'll be right back.
We'll be back.
Thank you all for listening to the We Need Help podcast. We actually need your help. You can become a member of the We Need Help movement. Can you tell us how?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's this really cool service called Patreon where you can support artists, people doing different projects, people like us. You basically go to the www.patreon, that's patreon.com/ We Need Help podcast. And you can subscribe a monthly donation every month.
Stipend?
Stipend, yeah, for just $1 a day.
Just a
You would be
dollar a
helping us out
day.
greatly. And if you become a Patreon, you get access to exclusive content. You get a say in what we do because every month we're going to be picking somebody and they get to pick a book that we're going to review. So you actually have a bit of a say in the art that we produce, which is really cool.
And you get to go to heaven.
Yes. That's the number one thing. You get to go to heaven. So
if you don't do it, you're going to hell. But if you do it, you get eternal life.
How awesome is that? For just $1 a day, eternal life.
I mean, eternal life for $1 a day.
So again, we would really appreciate your support. It costs money to do this, by the way.
It costs money.
It
and
does.
time
Yeah,
and money
we were
and more
shocked.
money.
We were shocked. We're like, what?
But
So,
I do want to say thank you guys for listening, and we would appreciate any support you could give us.
yeah, we just want to get better and we want to grow and we want you to grow with us. So that's awesome.
We have big plans.
We got some big plans. So please become a part. Log on to www.patreon.com/We Need Help podcast, written together. And Patreon is spelled patreon.com/We Need Help podcast. And then you just click on become a Patreon. You can do PayPal, you can do credit card, you can put it on whatever. We don't care how.
We don't
Just
care how
do
you give
it.
us money.
Just do it.
Thank you.
Thank you. We love you so
Thank
much.
you. We love you.
Welcome back from the banter break. The banter break. The banter break.
Sorry. I love that part. How
My
was
fa-
your banter
It
break?
was good. I made a really lovely coffee, which I'm drinking right now.
Oh, it looks so good. It's like the
Mm.
perfect cup too. Where'd
It
you get
is.
that cup?
Like some cheap place, like a Polish Carrefour is what they call it here. It's like a
Oh,
Dominic's
Carrefour.
or like a what do you have in Florida? Publix.
I don't have.
It's like a Publix.
Oh, okay. That's like
Yeah.
a grocery store.
Yeah. So they have also
Okay,
these cups
I like
sometimes on
that.
the side, but
I'm drinking celery juice.
I had celery juice this morning.
So good for the body. The medical medium would be so happy about it.
The medical medium.
I love the medical medium.
Okay, I don't know the medical medium, so we're gonna have to afterbirth that because I guarantee that people in Poland don't know what the medical medium is
Oh,
either.
they gotta. All right. If people in Poland are actually real, you
Yeah.
have to learn about the medical medium. When he was like a little kid, 4 or 5, this is crazy. He was sitting at his family's dinner table and he said, and now this is probably, you know how I like to fucking royally fuck up stories. This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
going to
yeah.
be,
You're good at it.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
your
So
superpower.
amazing. Yeah, I know.
So
So he looks at his grandma and says, "You have lung cancer. You need to go to a doctor." And she was like, okay. And she
she was
went to the
right.
doctor. She had lung cancer. She was actually saved by him. But he knows all this stuff because angels tell him so. And he
Oh,
knows all these like superpowers of food that we don't know yet, that the science industry has not discovered yet.
what is he? What's his? How old is he now? And does he have
I
like
don't
a
he looks
website?
about
He has
my
a show.
age.
Okay.
Oh, he's got like 3.4 million followers. He is like, you're going to love him. I actually just followed him on our Instagram,
Okay.
on the We Need Help the podcast Instagram. And that's so funny, like this morning, I think.
I'm gonna check him out. And we're gonna
Yeah, we'll do
afterbirth
a
him.
book of his coming up soon.
Okay, we'll afterbirth him
He's
too.
written so many books, one specifically about celery juice and its components.
Is it long?
It's got a lot of different recipes in it, and he like, I
Okay.
mean, he talks about, he has one of all these superfoods that like it has what it does for you medically, like for your body, and then what it does for you mentally, what it does for you spiritually. Like it has all different stuff. You're gonna love it. You're gonna
I'm
love it.
gonna love it, and I love the
Oh
fact
my
that
god.
angels tell him because I could just picture like this angel coming like celery juice, and he's like, "Oh,
It cleans out your liver.
colon cleansed." Um, so speaking of science, you like that segue there?
I loved it. It
We're
was so good.
we're moving on to essay number 3, which is my periodic table. So he basically, in this essay, he kind of talks about his love for science and how um, the elements in the periodic table became his companions during times of stress and sadness. That's what he turned to the physical sciences, because it's a world that there is no life, there is no death. These elements just sort of exist, and I just thought that was pretty beautiful as well.
I did too. And the weirdest part about it is the day that I was reading this part of the book, which the book only takes a half an hour to read, really like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Um, I was digging my periodic table chart, like my wall hanging out of our storage unit to put in Scarlett's home classroom
Oh, I love that.
that day. Isn't that weird?
That is, I love that. I love those little.
It's like a
I
little
call them.
ping.
I call them God winks. You know, God just winks at you at those
I
moments.
just, okay. Well, I'm not calling him a God wink.
Universe wink.
I
Sorry, people get
No,
so caught up
I'm
in
all about
semantics.
God. No, I don't. I picture him the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I do like to refer to God as her many times
Yeah.
because I don't like when people say too much him. And it throws people off too, especially religious people. I'm like, oh, yeah, she does everything. She is all giving, and they're always like, mm.
I always think that's funny though, because I think God is so beyond pronouns. Like, and people just put God in the box.
Yeah, it's weird. That's weird.
So what I thought was really cute was every birthday he takes that number of the element from the periodic table, and that's his birthday.
Yeah.
So that was a cute, I thought, part, and that's how he celebrates. And he usually receives the element in some form, and some of them are radioactive, so he has them in this little iron case, which is
Yeah, like a lead box of
which
some
is just really
sort.
funny. But I think this chapter was a lot about the things that he'll miss, scientific discoveries that he'll miss while he's on the earth. Sad about things that he won't see happen in the future. And he talked about he was one day sitting and looking up at the sky, and that he'll miss that. He'll miss the seeing the sky and all the stars. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
quite a reflective
I'm gonna be
chapter.
very pissed if cars don't fly. Like, I was promised flying cars by the year 2000, and they haven't. And then you get people like, cars could fly, we just don't have the infrastructure. I want my flying cars.
I want my flying cars too. That's all I need. On my deathbed, I just want to be rolled to the window and just see like I want to see like an Audi just go from you.
I want a Jetson flying
and
by,
then I'll be
or
like,
I'm gonna be mad.
and I'll do the exhale, the death rattle, and that'll be it.
It's gonna be good when I see that flying car, and I'm
I
gonna be
just
like,
need a flying.
finally.
I can go.
And then I'll wake up real quick and be like, just kidding, I didn't die.
Yeah. So yeah.
So yeah, all the things you're gonna miss. Like this is funny. One time, my mother-in-law, like, she was having a somber moment looking at Scarlett, and she goes, "Oh, I'm not gonna know how her story ends." And I was like, okay. Do you want to? Because that's weird.
Well,
Like, some things you're gonna miss out on that
and
are
here's the
good.
deal. Like, I truly believe, like you, that life goes on. So yeah, you are gonna know how her story ends because you're gonna, be
Yeah.
greeting her on the other side or whatever. Hopefully, maybe not.
She doesn't believe that though.
Oh,
She's
okay.
like, yeah, she's all
She's just
science. Like,
done.
yeah, she's done.
Yeah.
She doesn't, yeah. She's funny like that. And my father-in-law, he didn't believe in God. The first time I met him, I came down for Christmas, I think. Actually, that might have been the second trip. And he says, I was like, well, like the celebration of, Christ's birthday. And my father-in-law said, there is no God. And I was like, I go, well, why are we here then? And Jason said, we're at my family's Christmas. It's an exchange of goods and services.
Oh, that's funny.
I loved it. But he got more godly, like, as he's like got closer to the end. I think you
People that
do.
happens to people. I think
Yeah, he would
it might
say,
be a little bit of fear too.
or maybe
Yeah.
just kind of lean in. You kind of like secretly know that like it's not ending.
Yeah.
I think that kind of peace, like, is bestowed. Like, it's an like there's a lot of stuff we haven't discovered yet. Like,
Yeah.
there are things communicating with us, energies communicating with us. There might just be more of a peace as you get to the end. I don't know. I'm gonna find out. But like, I of course believe in everything.
Yeah.
Like, I believe in absolutely everything
Except birds in Poland.
except for Poland.
It doesn't exist.
Alleged Poland.
Allegedly.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to be
Hmm.
proven that.
Yeah. All right. When so that was the periodic table, sort of his reflections on his scientific life, how much he appreciated it, and then he was sad that I think what it was the last element that he wasn't going to see polonium, I think, or something like that, or yeah. So he was sad
Which
that he wasn't
sounded
going to.
like
Yeah,
it
go
sounded
ahead.
like a bad one.
Yeah, yeah,
Was
yeah. That he wasn't going to see that last element, but it's fine because it's like a nuclear element, and it's just
Yeah, and
like
he was like really bad. It
he was
causes a lot of problems.
yeah, so he's cool with that. And then his last essay was sort of a reflection on religion. It was called Sabbath, which is the day of rest in the Jewish religion, and he kind of had it as it was the last chapter, and it's sort of on the last day of your life. It's like a rest. It's like a Sabbath. So that's sort of what he
Yeah.
brought it back to. And he talked about his religious upbringing and um, how he wasn't, he was kind of had this young, rebellious, kind of resentful,
Well, his mom had been a complete mom fail when
right,
she found out,
right,
like a major mom fail when she found out that he was a homosexual.
yeah, and then
And she
yeah.
mom failed hard
Yeah, and
and
she not only
reacted and
mom
said,
failed, but she what happens then is this is what happens. Uh the mom also brings her, the whole religion with her.
yeah,
like
she
and
fucked. I mean, she
and
royally
so
fucked up.
like if she was like kind about it, then he would have been maybe open to the religion, but then he
Yeah.
sort of shut his heart against
And I don't like to
the faith.
judge parents
Yeah.
because it's all hard to like
Yeah.
bring these people up. But a kid, number one rule is do not call your child an abomination. I've
yeah.
noticed that never works.
That pretty much
That
yeah,
was
that's sort of a
that.
don't. Yeah.
That's a big no no. It's a turn off.
Yeah.
So yeah, she mom failed hard by calling him an abomination. This that and it turned him off to all of religion because he was just like, I don't want to be a part of something that is such bullshit. I mean, I've definitely been there with religion.
I've reopened my heart to it because I read a quote somewhere in a book I was reading that it's people, not religions that do. So there's individuals that represent that use religion because religion in and of itself isn't all not
Yeah.
all of it is bad, but it's in the evil of individuals that use what could be good about the religion because there's good and bad in everything. There's
I
not
can
all good and all bad.
completely
So
agree with that because I'm going to
yeah,
tell you why. I
yeah.
have this friend, Carmen, who is literally the best Christian I know.
Hmm.
She's so gentle and kind and walks in the steps of Jesus, just like the coolest.
Yeah.
Like she talks about like rather than judging a woman who has an abortion, you take her in your arms and you care for her. I mean,
Yeah.
that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And then I'll meet like Christians that are the biggest jerks. They want to argue Christianity. They want to talk about the Bible. They want to prove you wrong and they're right. And
Hmm.
it's just like it's them that's the problem. It's not Christianity. It's
It's not Christianity at
assholes.
all. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's
It's
and I think it's from
users and takers and
yeah.
narcissists and just gross people that are the problem with religion.
People in general. Yeah. I mean, you find them everywhere. So, and I think somebody once told me that um, judge, don't say the forest is ugly just because a few of the trees are. And that's it. There's a few ugly trees in every forest, so we don't look at the beauty of the forest because we focus on the ugliness of some of its trees. So, and that I think that's what happened here with him. But then at the end, he met one of his best friends who was completely different. So I think it
Yeah.
opened his heart back up to.
For me, like I was so turned off to religion altogether, organized religion
Hmm.
on so many levels because so many assholes had misused it that it
Mm,
like by meeting Carmen, I was able to like open up my heart
yeah,
that way a little.
yeah,
But I'm still not. I'm still like I'll openly admit that there is a blockage there for me because when somebody says I am Christian, I'm Mormon, if somebody
mm.
says I'm a Republican or a Democrat, I'm like, okay, your fucking mind is already closed. Like you have already put yourself in a box and closed the lid, and now you're just in there. Because
Mm.
once you label yourself something like that, it's just like, what if, that's why I always say I believe in everything. What if it's all right?
Yeah.
What if it's all wrong?
Yeah.
Like, we don't know.
Yeah. I think people feel safe. That's why they do it. It's they people need to feel safe. It's kind of their foundation. Here you go. Boundaries. Oh, now I feel safe. I am
Yeah, but
Democrat.
like, are you so like, do you need the I like for me it's like, okay, to be kind is just like feeling the energy from another person and wanting them to be like to feel good. Like, do you need like the thought of being damned for all eternity just to be a nice person?
Is that a trick question?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. It
Uh,
just seems like such a weak.
it's like, be nice or you're going to hell.
Oh, yeah. How about just be nice? Like, because it's the right thing to do. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, but I thought this was a really nice sort of finish to the book, and if you don't mind, I will read the paragraph that kind of.
I would love for you to do that,
All
especially if
right,
you could do that in a Southern accent.
I.
You want me to do?
No, I almost don't want to like. It's so like poetic and nice. I almost don't want
Okay,
to
then
like. I don't
don't
want
fuck it
to.
up with a Southern accent. Great, we just lost the bottom half of the country.
Oh, so he writes, and now, weak, short of breath, my once firm muscles melted away by cancer, I find my thoughts increasingly not on the supernatural or spiritual, but on what is meant by living a good and worthwhile life, achieving a sense of peace within oneself. I find my thoughts drifting to the Sabbath, the day of rest, the seventh day of the week, and perhaps the seventh day of one's life as well, when one can feel that one's work is done and one may, in good conscience, rest. So I just thought that was a really beautiful,
It
beautiful
is
way to end
beautiful.
that. Yeah.
It
So,
is beautiful. And I think once you decide to die, and have you ever seen anyone die?
yes. Yeah.
It really is the most peaceful um energy
Yeah.
there is. It's the opposite of a birth. There's there's that. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
it's a it's a real peaceful moment and it's interesting.
Yeah.
You can definitely feel a release in the room,
Yeah.
you know. So anyway, yeah, that is I would definitely recommend this for anybody. It's a
Yeah. It's
35-minute rate read.
it's short and it's very lyrical and it's very it like he just opens his heart. And what I just loved about it was that he's gone now, but I felt like I don't know that his life he does live on through what he wrote. It was just really really beautiful. And I think what I'm taking out of it is just to I don't know, just like the sense of peace and just to appreciate everything more around me, because
Mhm.
here's a guy who was so close to his death and just writing about it. And it just made me think of, the things that I need to appreciate.
Yeah.
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 How about you?
It reminded me of the die every day practice,
Yeah.
It really is an amazing practice
Yeah.
is just to picture your no longer being here and, kind of connecting your relationships that way
Yeah.
and how you feel about people and if you want people to know stuff, that is important and like you make sure you tell them in this moment
Yeah.
because we're not promised anything, you know but and I you guys you'll all let me know when we're dead, but like I don't think there's an end to this, y'all. I really don't.
I don't either.
I
So
don't.
thank you, Oliver Sacks.
Thank you, Oliver. Yeah, I know you can hear us.
Because that was an awesome book.
Yeah, it was. It was. I really like we have to like take a moment to be like, okay, that is in his last moments he decided to share them with the world. That's giving.
Yeah. Can we can we record from our deathbed this podcast?
Fuck yeah, we can. From the
That'd be awesome,
afterlife.
actually. That would be really
Welcome to the afterbirth. The afterbirth.
if one of us dies before and then we like continue this podcast alone, like we're just gonna be slamming mics and like turning off lights. Just messing it up. You can't do this without me.
Back.
I love my scary voice. Oh my god.
What book
And
are
I
we
love
doing
you.
next?
Oh,
love
I don't
you.
know what we're doing. We're doing the penis book.
Oh yeah,
The penis book.
guys. We're
Yay.
doing a penis book, and we're gonna post it on our Instagram because I forgot the name of
Yeah.
it. But it's
We're
gonna be
doing
good
the
because we're gonna
penis
have
book.
guests for the first time ever.
We're inviting our penises to join along. Oh my god. I can't wait. We'll post it on our Instagram. Follow us on our Instagram on
Yeah.
We Need Help the podcast.
Yeah. All right. I love ya.
I love ya, and I'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Rate and follow us if you like us. If you don't, please don't.
And come visit us at www.theweneedhelppodcast.com. There you can find show notes, links for books. You can join Audible, which is, how we actually read our books. We listen to them. And we have special exclusive content just for you. Also, feel free to subscribe to our Patreon account. That's where you can support us financially because we need it. And it can be anywhere from $1 to $100 billion a month, whatever you can afford. And the link to our Patreon account is www.patreon, and that's spelled patreon.com/We Need Help Podcast. And you can support us on there. We would really appreciate it because we do need help.
Awesome. And we will see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Thanks,
Bye.
loves. Bye.